Hi, my name is Donna, and welcome to my sewing journey. I have been asked how to put a zipper in, and so I thought we could start with the simple project today, and I'll show you how to sew a zipper into a little zipper bag. This one's going to have a flat bottom, and I'm going to show you how to make this. And you're going to start with a zipper that is 8 inches, and I mean 8 inches from I'm using one that already has zipper stops built in, and this one is 8 inches from this zipper stop to this zipper stop. But if you decide to use a zipper by the yard, that's fine. You just cut it 9.5 inches because we're going to use 3/4 inch zipper tabs on either end. And so that your zipper will still end up being 8 inches, you want to add that additional 1.5 for the 3/4 of an inch tabs that'll be on each end. And I'm going to show you how to sew the tabs on, and then I'm going to show you how to make the bag. I'm going to sew this tab on, and I like to use a pin on each of them to keep this closed. So you want to line those two up with each other. Okay, I have the lining face up, and I have the zipper face up. And I have I trimmed the sides of my zipper tabs to be even with the zipper, and I have centered the zipper with the tabs in the center of the fabric and clipped it in place. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to sew it. You can also do face down of the outer fabric and sew once, but when I first learned, I did one side at a time so I could see the zipper and learn how to do it. Let me show you how to sew that. So I'm going to take my fabric and stick it here. Now, normally I would line up the side of the zipper foot with the zipper itself, but in this case, because I'm going to sew it a second time and I don't want this seam to show up on the outside, I'm going to move it over a little bit, and I'm going to use this little there's a point right here on my zipper foot, and I'm going to use that in the center of the zipper foot as the guide on the side of the fabric, so that when I sew the other side, when I sew the outside fabric on, you won't see this seam that I'm creating right now. And when I get close to where the zipper is, I'm going to put the zipper out of the way. So that way I can pull this nice and tight, and I can make sure that the edge of the fabric is lined up with the edge of the zipper. Sew that all the way to the end. Doesn't like to go over that extra fabric right there. And back stitch. Okay, now I'm going to take my pretty side down. The zipper will be the zipper side up, and I'm going to center this on the one that I've already sewn. And clip it. And And I like to put my second clip right in front of the zipper pull so I know where it is. So when I pause, I can move the zipper out of the way. So you can see that that is right by the zipper pull. And now that I have my fabric lined up, I'll show you how I did that. Now this one, I am going to line up so that the zipper is lined up with the side of the presser foot. And if you're not sure where that is, pencil, and you can draw that in so that you can see where it is. A little cheap. Works for me. So see, I have that lined up with that mark. And the zipper's right here. Now, when I get here, I want to make sure that my zipper is all the way down. Lift up my fabric, the presser foot up, slide the zipper out of the way, put the presser foot back down, tighten everything back up, make sure it's all lined up before I move the clip, and finish sewing to the other end. It's caught. Might need a little help pulling it. And you're done sewing 1/2 of the zipper. So it looks like this. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go over to my ironing board and I'm going to press this like this. Make sure that this lining fabric is the same way. Press it all away from the zipper. And then I'm going to do a top stitch right along here. I'll be right back. Now, when you've done it a time or two and you get more confident, you can pin or clip your lining, sandwich your zipper, and your outer. You want pretty sides facing, pretty side to pretty side, and the zipper is going to be the zipper pull is going to be facing your outer shell. Let me show you how to sew this way. Same thing, and if you're not confident about where that zipper is, if you're not confident where that is, you can always draw a line so that you know where to sew. And I drew the line at the edge of the zipper, so that will be at the edge of my presser foot. Back stitch when you start and when you finish. And again, I put my clip where the zipper pull is. So make sure it's all the way down. Lift the presser foot up, lift up, move your zipper out of the way. Then realign your fabric, lining, your zipper, and your outer all together. Hold it together. Put your presser foot down and then finish sewing. And you've just installed the zipper. And then you're going to switch back to your regular presser foot and top stitch this, press everything away from the zipper. I'm going to press everything away from the zipper. And you're going to top stitch this side just the same as I did on that side. I'm going to go do that, and then I'm going to show you how to put the bag together and finish sewing it. I'm going to show you how I top stitch this. I put the regular presser foot back on, and I'm going to line up the side of my presser foot with the side of the zipper. Oh, it's caught on something. What? There we go. Not sure what I got caught on. Top stitch all the way to the end. It's getting caught on that zipper tab. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you how to put the bag together. Okay, so I pull the bag apart and I make it right sides together, outer and the lining. And I'm going to make sure that I have my zipper open. And I like to use, for this type of project, I'm going to line my seams up. So when you line your seams up, you're going to hear both ways. People push the tab towards the outer, towards the inner. I personally like to push it towards the outer. It's up to you. What you're trying to match up is this seam here with that seam there. So you want these two seams, this seam to match up with this seam. So however you want to do it, I'm going to get those two seams lined up. And you want to clip it or pin it, whichever you prefer. I like to clip it when it's a flat piece. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, moved it. Let's try that again. Okay. Oh, didn't get to interfacing. There we go. And then clip it the rest of the way around, lining up your ends. When you do the lining, I like to leave a gap to turn it on the side seam. You can leave it at the bottom. You can leave it here and sew all the way around and just leave this open, or leave it open down here, whatever you prefer. But I'm going to sew all the way around this whole thing, leaving an opening on the side. And when you do that, then I'm going to show you how to do a box corner without cutting out the corners. So I'm going to go sew all this all the way around, and I'll come right back and I'll show you how to do the corners. Okay, I finished sewing all the way around, and I left my opening here. And what I did was I went and pressed the one side to the inside so that the seam was open. And here I actually pressed it twice so that the opening, both sides of the opening are pressed. And what you're going to do to make those box corners is pull it apart. And you want to line up this seam and this seam. And get it all lined up. and I take a pin, push it through the seam, see if it comes out the seam on the other side. If it doesn't, I know just have to adjust the fabric over a little bit. And I push it through again. There we go, perfectly lined up. Once I get that, I'm going to lay it flat. This is just not working today. There we go. It just wants to fight me right now. There we go. All right. I like to get it nice and flat. And what I do is I take my ruler and I'm going to get to the point where it's 1.5 from side to side. So there's the 1.5 mark, right? 1.5 mark. And I want it side to side. So once it's tip here to 1.5 here, and I'm going to look here and make sure that these are both lined up on the seam. Draw that line. I'm going to do the same for all 4 corners, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and stitch here, and then I'm just going to clip off the corner. And I'll meet you right back. I'm going to go do that, meet you back right here. Okay, I sewed all 4 corners, and I have my opening, and we're going to turn it through the opening. Remember, we left the zipper open, so we're going to reach down all the way down to this corner and pull that through. And the reason I like to do this style box corners versus cutting out the corners and sewing them together is if your seams are off because of the zipper or the seam allowance got a little crooked, this will make sure your corners work out just fine, even though that something else may have been off. It's just a preference. On larger bags, I just do I like to cut out the box size. Push that all through. Now, I like to use my fingers to push out those corners really good, both sides. Don't use your scissors. Had people rip them. Okay, and for this one, I am going to change to yellow thread since it's going to be obvious. And I'm going to close this with yellow thread. So I'm going to stitch here and then it'll be done and I'll show you the final product. Okay, here we are, the finished product. After I finished sewing that lining, I pushed the lining in, pushed it all the way into the corners. And I took my thumb and I pushed out each end of the zipper. And then I tied on a little piece of ribbon to make the zipper pull a little easier to open and close. And if you watch any of my other videos, I use remnants to make this. The lining and the outer shell are both remnants that I bought for a couple of dollars. What's really cool about that is my friend, my best friend in the world, she is a huge Steelers fan, and I'm going to give this to her when I'm done. And what I did was I made sure that I centered this Steelers logo on the one side when I was cutting it out, and the other side I made sure I centered this little flag with the word Steelers on it to center that on the other side. So just a little something extra to try to make it look nice. After I press it, because it hasn't been pressed, it's a little wrinkly. After I press it, I'm going to be gifting this to my friend. And these are very useful because you can use them for all kinds of things. My daughter, I've made like 5 or 6 for her, and she uses them for everything, for art supplies, to her makeup, to her vitamins, all kinds of things. She's in college now, and she finds a lot of use for them. And she's, Mom, make me another bag. Happy to do it because I'm confident making my zippers. You can do that too. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you finished your project. Please feel free to email me photos of your work because I would love to see what you've made. Follow me for more and subscribe to my channel so we can continue having fun together. Have a great day.